Alright. Hello everybody. My name's Coral Killer, and basically this run that I'm about to do, which will hopefully be less than 1 hour long, is kind of what I'm expecting my first Nintendo Switch run to look like, minus mouse and keyboard. But yeah, so without further ado, let's just begin. I'll be explaining things along the way that is going to be interesting about the Nintendo Switch, and you might notice, compared to all my other runs, that it's a lot higher quality, and that's because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking that they might have the settings be locked. Although if it's on Nintendo Switch, then it wouldn't be, like, too bad. Since, like, my PC, I'll admit, isn't the greatest. I have an AMD FX 8300 processor and a GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. So yeah, those are not the best specs to be running this game at super high quality, if I do say so myself. And stream it too. But, so, basically I'll be explaining a few things that I think might be of trouble on the Switch version, due to things being either patched out, or, yeah. We're just hoping things aren't patched out, though, because that would be upsetting. Because that would mean that sub 1 hour on Nintendo Switch is a little bit more unlikely for me, at least. Like, for example, Lenny Skip, or Liar Skip, whichever you call it. I call it Lenny Skip. It's interesting because, like, we don't know. Like, when this game was transported to PC, we didn't know if it would be patched out or not. Which it wasn't, and we thank Chrome Studios for that. At least I do. But, yeah, that's probably gonna be a little problem, because, like, aiming would suck. At least with my Switch Pro controller. I'll probably do a run, at least one run with both Joy-Cons and the Pro controller to see which one I prefer. Which I honestly think it might be Joy-Cons, because the Joy-Cons, or at least my Joy-Cons, are actually relatively good. Like, my Switch Pro controller, I'll try to hold up, and then it, like, turns out I'm not holding exactly up. It turns out I'm just holding just barely upright. Alright, so if I get a sub 4-minute 2-up, then I'll be satisfied with that. So yeah, if a lot of things get patched out on Switch, 2-up won't be too different. One thing that may not seem like a big deal, and that's what I just did there. If they patch out extended hovering on the Switch version, then we are gonna have problems. And that was a 349 2-up, that's actually not bad. I mean, this might be one thing, too, that the Switch might patch out. Actually, I'm gonna do something real quick. Alright, that looks... Alright, yeah, it definitely was lagging. And I really actually like this. I'm sorry that I had to, like, in the middle of a run, change it, but... It was the better thing to do. Because that was a good 2-up, and I did not want to put it to waste. But so, if they patch out that trick, what we're gonna have to do is we're just gonna have to do first water slide, and then what we're gonna do is we'll come down here, then we'll run over that way after talking to Ranger Ken. Then grab the Thunder Egg down there, or if we could quickly get the Bilbies, then we'd get the Bilbies too. Once again, if they patch out just that trick there by like moving the polygons or something, it's not too big of a deal. It is, however, a big deal if they patch out extended hovering / gliding. I call it extended hovering. Most if they patch out extended hovering, that means we can't do pretty much all the tricks in Rex Marks. I mean, we might be able to do... No, we can't even do Volcano Skip. We would need to, like, reroute Rex Marks entirely. For the Bilby, actually, we wouldn't need to reroute it that much. Oh. But for the Volcano Thunder Egg, then we would want to reroute it in a way where we grab one of the things on the other side of the volcano before. Alright, 717, that's mediocre considering, I mean, gameplay-wise, that wasn't the greatest, I'll admit. But, like, when, like, I missed, I missed, water slide skip for the first time. Like, the first water slide skip I missed, so that wasted a good 20 or so seconds. And then I had to, like, change the settings, which wasted, like, 5 or 10 seconds. But then I probably saved it back in lag, because I wouldn't lag for the rest of the level. Yeah, 717, missing the first thing is not bad at all. And wasting, like, 10 seconds changing it. So I'm just gonna say that that would have been a 647. Actually, no, I'll just say it's a 652 or something. It would have been a 652, I mean. Alright, so as for this stage, one of the bigger problems would be swimming. At least for me, because there are a bunch of PC players who play with controller. And I've always played on mouse and keyboard, almost entirely on PC. There was one time where I switched to controller for like 3 days, but then I was like, okay, you know what, nah. But yeah, swimming with controller is, in my opinion, harder than with mouse and keyboard. once again, swimming would be an issue until I get used to it at least. So after like 4 or 5 runs of doing it on Switch, I'll probably get used to the swimming fairly decently by then, hopefully. If not, then I'll probably just like spend a few days like trying to swim good. I mean, swimming isn't the problem. Swimming quickly and like cutting corners is the problem. Like the biggest one where I could see I would just like waste like 5 or 10 seconds out of seemingly nowhere would be the ship. Because in that, on PC, with mouse and keyboard, you see that I go through and get out like fairly quickly. But that's because I play on mouse and keyboard, and with the mouse you can like flick the camera in quick ways like that. See, I would definitely recommend, for myself at least, that if I can find a spare mouse and keyboard, then I would use those, to be honest, since I'm so used to this. I mean, I have an old keyboard in my closet. I mean, it's not really old. It's like one of the keyboards that I had before this green one. Like this green LED one. So yeah, I'm about 20 seconds behind my PB here. Which that's actually not bad, honestly. Like, if... But, like... I don't know. If this PBs, though, for, like, some godly reason, then I'm not gonna upload it to speedrun.com. Because I am way too lazy to go back through the game and find, like, each second where I split. Oh, that's alright. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna get hit. Alright, 1421. Can definitely say I've had better. I'm pretty sure my best is like a 1353 or something that I've ever gotten RTA. Which was probably set a few months ago when I was playing this game a lot more. or not a few months ago, like last month. Excuse me. Like December last month. Oh yeah, so that's one more thing that it might be a problem when Switch becomes a thing. But the solution to that would just be swimming around, having to like cancel the Mori text quickly. Wow. But other than that, I doubt that they would like change much, because if I recall correctly, they didn't patch anything out from older console to PC. The most they patched was like the friggin' French voice line in the GameCube version. Which I still don't understand why they had that. But like, I feel that they wouldn't patch too much out of this, because since they pretty much copied and pasted this, like they pretty much just took the game, copied it, pasted it into the PC engine, and just like updated a bunch of the textures and models and everything. They didn't even update the models much. I mean, they have more like tries than the previous models. Obviously they would, since it's a newer thing, but like they didn't like really patch, they didn't really update anything really. Like the game's supposed to look cartoony, so that's why they didn't add like whiskers to tie, or like actual tiger-like whiskers instead of those weird spikes on the side of his head. I mean, they updated the grass and everything a lot, which, since a lot of PCs are more powerful than a Switch, they might not even update the grass much. Like, why is it that some Switches seem more powerful than others? Could it be because of, like, the new model or whatever? Because I got my model in 2017. I got my Switch in 2017, and I haven't gotten a new one since. Once again, one of the bigger things, but like the smaller things, that would be a problem if it was patched, is the extended hovering. Because jumps like that couldn't be possible. Getting up to this Netty fight. And pretty much like every other, like, not vanilla intended mechanic. Oh. Like, since this one was given so much longer to, like, pretty much ever since it was announced, then I feel that they would probably work more on the game itself and not just, like... I mean, I know that they were having more Thai models and everything. I mean, that's gonna be all cool and dandy and everything. Alright, so coming up is the turkeys, which already suck, so hopefully... I'm hoping that they make them better, actually. And that's why turkeys suck. Which way, right? Yep. Oh. exactly at 20:01. So that's, I believe. Actually, I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, one more thing: keyboard strats. I completely forgot about that. But so for those who don't know, which if you're watching this video, you probably do know, or unless you just found this in recommended for some reason, although none of my videos get into recommended ever. Unless you literally search exactly the name of it, and then it shows up on like the 4th or 5th one. Like, so keyboard strats are definitely gonna not be a thing. So that's already like, oh wow, they're all here. That's already like a minute lost compared to current PC strats. And Inu RNG isn't gonna be much better either. Bro, imagine how much it would suck if, like, somebody got into their, like, first 80% run of the Switch version, and the game's like, oh, by the way, we just added another, like, random level on the final battles, on the way to the final battle. That would suck so much. They're like, oh my god. That would be, if that was a thing, then I would literally not do another run that day. I would just be like, no. I mean, then it would actually be tricky to get sub 1. I mean, depending on how big the level is. Like, if the level is, like, easily skippable, or if it's just, like, another boss or something. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of who it could be. Maybe it could be, like, Cass in a smaller robot, and then you're pretty much just chasing him through an auto-scroller for, like, a minute or so. Then after that, you get to, like, maybe after the shadow fight, they change it, the final battle, to be exactly like that or something. To be honest, I think that'd be cool, but, like, that'd be kind of bad, because I would not want to do, like, a whole, like, minute and a half auto-scroller at the beginning of the final battle, then another minute and a half auto-scroller after, like, 30 seconds of not being in a minute and a half auto-scroller. Actually, no, I think it'd be even more than a minute lost to no keyboard strats. Actually, no, one thing that could be possible with keyboard, like if... Wait, no, it wouldn't do it because the D-pad is usually for switching boomerangs. Actually, I don't know, but like, to be honest, I don't know why they had it be the D-pad when, like, the top 2 buttons on a controller would be much better for switching the boomerangs. I would hope that it gives you an option to actually do that. Like, the bumper buttons on each controller, like, that would be much better to switch boomerangs with than the D-pad, in my opinion. And the D-pad could be, like, another movement thing or something. So, like, you could be holding up on the analog stick and left or right on the D-pad, and then you'd still get your keyboard strats. Although I doubt that would be a reality, that would be interesting, to say the least. Um, this level, honestly, I can't think of much that would be patched out here other than mill skip. And if mill skip is patched, then we're gonna have a problem. I feel what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, like, kids, don't do this at home. I mean, I'm obviously gonna do it at home, but, like, do not skip school to just play a game. It is, like, super, super stupid. It's, like, the worst thing you could possibly do. Although I might actually do it. So, friend from school that watches my stream sometime, if you're here or seeing the YouTube video and are not at school on March 31st, don't. You already know why. It's gonna be so weird. Like, my friends who don't watch my stream and don't know what's going on in the gaming, at least in the Thai community at this time. But, like, they're gonna be like, why weren't you at school? And I was like, a game released. And she's gonna be like, are you serious? Maybe I should just text her and be like, would you be mad if I skip school because of new game? Where am I going? Okay. I should just text her being like, would you be... I missed one. I was thinking I was a little bit high. Oh, there he is. Look at you. Sitting in the corner. One of the easier things to miss. Like, it would be so funny just to, like, text my friend and be like, yo, I'm staying home from school. She's gonna be like, why? And I'm gonna say, because a new game is releasing today. And she's gonna be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, if I fake sick or something to play this game, then I'm probably, first of all, not gonna stream it unless my mom's not home. And second of all, I wouldn't... I mean, I would probably do the runs offline, at least until later that day. Alright, so coming up is the first hard trick in the run, and the first thing where if it was patched, it would literally waste minutes. Other than keyboard strats. I mean, it's not... I was just about to say it's not that hard, but clearly it is, apparently. And the hard part is not even too difficult right now. It's friggin' jumping up to the platform. Yeah, no, the boomerang extended glide jump isn't hard at all. It's getting the fall of shame that's going to be hard. Yes, I love the fall of shame. Doesn't everybody love the fall of shame? Yeah, the fall of shame is great. Yeah. Love the fall of shame. This is the first time I've gotten fall of shame in, like, months. I mean, or at least I've fallen the entirety of it. Because, like, most of the time, when I, like, fall down, I usually just, like, reset before I get, like, 10 feet down. Yeah, one more thing, if extended hovering is patched, this is gonna be impossible. Alright, so I'm about 3 minutes behind my PB. I mean, I don't care since they're not going against splits, but... I'd rather not be this far behind. I wonder if Chrome Studios will just, like, make the turkeys better, because I usually... Basically, before I stopped running this game, because I wanted to not wear myself out of it, before it released for Switch, or before it releases for Switch, I kind of wanted to, like, basically all of my streams of this game would go through normally. We would either reset in 2-up or in Bridge on the River Tide due to turkeys, no in between. Or rarely I would reset in any other level between those two. Like, I kind of hope that what Chrome Studios does is they just, like, fix the turkeys. It doesn't have to. They don't have to fix the walk in the park turkey, because the walk in the park turkey is great. It's actually quite easy to do. Alright, time for this. I'm so used to, like, back when, in, like, 2017, like, when I first, like, got good at this game, I would always, like, dread coming to this level. And now it's like, oh, by the way, you did liar skip. One time, I did liar skip completely on accident. I had taught my friend how to do it. Alright. Alright. That friend was over, he was like, yo, why do you love this game so much? And I was just like, you'll need to play it. And then he played it. And he was like, it's alright, I guess. And then I was like, you want to see something cool? And he was like, sure. Because, like, him and I were in Lyre at the time. He was like, ooh, another rainforest. I like the other rainforest. And so I was like, oh, you're gonna like this rainforest even more. So, like, I went and I showed him the... like, the lyre bird. Like, showing him how annoying he was. And I was like, you know, there's a way you could skip all this. And he was like, no, he was playing through it. Like, excuse me. But he was, like, playing through it all. I was like, you know, there's a way you could skip all of that lyre bird shenanigans. And he's like, no, there isn't. And I was like, oh, yes, there is. And then he said, how? Tell me how. And then I was like, alright, so just, like, exit and re-enter the level. And he was like, why? And I said, just do it. Then when he exited and re-entered the level, he went to Lyre in the beginning. And I was like, okay, now jump on Lyre. Jump on Lenny. Or, yeah. I've been calling him Lyre this entire time, I feel like an idiot. I was like, alright, jump on Lenny. And he was like, alright. Then he slid off. And I was like, oh yeah, you need to, like, turn the camera towards the in-between of the rocks really quickly. Then, after you do so, you need to jump in between... logs, I mean. After you quickly turn the camera between the logs, you need to jump in between them. And, like, hover. I mean, I taught him what extended hovering was. Because he was trying to get over the friggin' waterfall in 2-up. He was like, how do I get over this? And I was like, it's not intended to be went over like that, but I'll tell you anyway. And so I taught him about how at the highest point of your jump, you need to press the spacebar. And so I was like, okay, so then after you land on Lenny, you need to extended glide to the in-between of the logs, and then just glide down to the room that you fought Sly in. He's like, what do you mean? And I said, just do it. Took him a few tries, since, like, it's obviously quite difficult to do it, but... after, like, 4 or 5 attempts, he made it. And he was like, oh, is that the room? And I was like, yep. And then he just, like, went in. And I was like, you just did a glitch, how do you feel? And he was like, I feel pretty good. By the way, if something like that happens, like, what you need to do is you just need to, like, exit the main menu and then re-enter the game. I'm very upset that happened. Since, I mean, I'm hoping that they kind of fix the rings, too. Alright, beyond the Blackstone, let's go. Alright. Time for the level that I love for some reason. Even though there's shit like this. Alright, and away we go. That could be another thing, they might change the shape of their heads. I mean, like, change the, like, hitbox of their heads. They're not allow that. But if they don't allow it, then I'm pretty sure that one good alternative route would be just going normally, blah blah blah. Except without that in the beginning. You then just, like, friggin' get the final one, don't death warp back. Actually, you would death warp back. And then you just, like, ride the flowers all the way to the thing. Oh. Actually, no, the flower's not too far. So yeah, it wouldn't be too difficult to reroute, supposing that's not possible. Thank you, Mr. Frill. Alright, one thing that they might actually fix during this would be the ice physics. The ice physics to where you keep your momentum when you get on them, and it doesn't, like, stop you dead in your tracks. Like that. Like, that's... If they could fix that, then that would be just peachy. No, I was about to exit level, but I was like, oh, no, not yet. Oh my god. It's only 11 p.m., dude. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you don't sleep for more than, like, 8 hours a night. Like, last night, for example, I went to bed at, like, 1 a.m. and I woke up at, like, 7. $45.22. Oh, yeah. So as long as I'm not 5 minutes and 6 seconds behind, I'm good. Very nice. Is this not terrible RNG? This is not bad RNG at all. Alright, so getting that quickly is kind of bad, actually, since, like, it's not, it's hard, like, it's nearly 100% consistent, because, like, this game, there's almost no sub-pixels, and if there are, then there is no sub-pixel perfect tricks. Like, that one jump there is 100% consistent if you just have the right positioning. And this, however, is actually quite inconsistent, for me at least. Because with this, you have, I mean, the timing part of it is not hard at all. The timing part is just throwing, jumping, extending, hovering, and then biting. That is not hard at all. However, the problem is... Alright. Thought there is not too bad. It could entirely be better, though. Alright, now this run is actually looking like it's going to be very, very tight for sub 1, so I'm actually going to take this serious now, because I actually, if I don't get sub 1 with this, I'm actually going to be quite upset. I mean, honestly, sub 1 is, like, really such a big deal, but at the same time, it's not. Because, like, I could probably just, like, go... Like, if my first Nintendo Switch time is like a 101.26, then that's not too bad. It's not bad for a first run on a console, and it's not too bad for, like, a first run in general for the thing. Is that it? No, it's not it. Like, literally the first file in... Actually, no, that's a lie. The second file that I make in the Switch version of Pi is going to be the speedrun file. The first file is going to be, like, checking the camera, see if the camera's okay and everything. Okay, where am I? Die, you stupid thing. Ow. Alright, so by the time we enter Hub 3, my PB is already gonna be... This is already gonna be slower than my PB. Ow. Alright. Ow. Anyway, so... This is the final thing that might be patched out. Actually, no, that's a lie. So there's this thing where I jump on a tree branch and then I like jump over the thing. Now there are multiple ways this could be patched. They could add an invisible wall, they could just like remove the collision on the tree branch. You never know. They could just remove the tree branch altogether. Cause like you see, I just like stood on an invisible wall for a split second. They could just like extend that a little bit higher, like high enough to be to like the top of the entire map, and that could be a thing. Alright. Alright, so here's one thing that could be patched out. Although this isn't nearly as important as the other one. Just that cool trick. Like if that cool trick gets patched out, I mean, then that's like a 10-second time loss. Also, hopefully they fix Shadow RNG. Let's keep that in mind. Oh, let's hope that she doesn't get any invincibility frames. Like, with this game is poorly made, but it's an amazing game. It's poorly made. Okay, we're good. But it is a great game. And when you get used to the bad camera controls, then, and like all of the random stupid things that a casual player may take hours on. Turkeys. And then, I mean, you really never know. Of course. That's what I mean by shadow invincibility frames. Although I think that I kind of caused that because I was, like, too close. So yeah, this is definitely not sub 1 anymore. Alright, so now we just need to wander back. And you just stride back towards her. And we need to quickly do that. And she finally gets it. Ow. Yeah, in this, there's nothing to be patched here. That would be patched, I should say. So yeah, since pretty much this is no chance of being sub 1, depending on what the time actually is, I might, like, see how, like, we might have actually been able to get sub 1 if we had gotten a better shadow fight. Would have been like a 1 hour flat. That would have been so cool. And with that, we have Ty the Tasmanian Tiger beaten half-assed in 1 hour and 48 seconds exactly.